Our frontal lobe is the largest part of our brain. It's 40%. And it's involved in imagery and projection and creativity. And when we're on and when we're in the moment, we're making dopamine and oxytocin and we're feeling good. But then as soon as something happens and we're in trouble and we're having an emotion, mad or sad, oh, you know what? I didn't have my ice cream today. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be present. I'm going to be thinking about my ice cream. As absurd as that is, if I was being chased by a tiger, my body would be going through the same anatomical physiological response. Frontal lobe would, for the most part, shut down, and my amygdala midbrain would kick in and start firing. Now I'd go into either fight, freeze, or flight, 3 possibilities. Well, in that moment that happens and my amygdala, my midbrain, my reptilian brain starts to fire, it communicates to the adrenal glands behind the kidneys and starts to produce epinephrine and adrenaline. The blood has to leave the central part of the body, and serotonin in the gut stops being produced, and digestion slows, and white blood cell count drops because the blood begins to leave the central part of the body, and our organs get less nutrient and oxygen from the blood, picking up the epinephrine and adrenaline and heading to the extremities, sparking trillions of cells into inflammation from the nucleus out, exploding to go into action of fight or freeze or flight. Well, because we're, a lot of us, in a constant state of inflammation, inflammatory stress from our food, from our thoughts, from what's going on in the world, we're going into oxidative stress. Inflammation leads to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is simply that we're burning electrons very fast. The earth breaks things down through erosion, rust, things break apart, oxidative stress. Our body breaks things down the same way, but we're breaking down too fast sometimes. And the oxidative stress is we're burning electrons too fast. And prolonged oxidative stress begins to take the cellular structure and degrade it and stretch it and crack it, and if it proliferates and splits, and that's cancer. And so really most of our diseases baseline is inflammation leading to oxidative stress. And when we think thoughts that are not in the moment, Tibetans said that suffering's in the mind, and what they meant is when we think these stories that are not happening, the memory comes in and we're actually experiencing them as if they're happening. Our pain from the past, our guilt from the past, our fear of the future, and we're actually living them in our bodies. So being present is a tool to slow oxidative stress. And when we become more present, when there's less past and there's less future and we become more present, instantly what happens is the epinephrine and adrenaline is absorbed by the lymph, and we come back into presence, and the blood returns to the central, and our immune system kicks up, and serotonin kicks in, and dopamine and oxytocin take over. We come back to the moment. So I'd like to show you some really simple things on how to become more present. Who wouldn't want to become more present? Meditation teaches us to increase the observer, the witness, the one that's the eternal, that can be present. You know, when we think a thought, usually most of us, when we go into a thought that's hard on us, we look down. And so if we notice that we're looking down, if the observer is strong enough to notice, I'm looking down, I'm looping, I'm in this thought, I'm creating oxidative stress, one simple way is to look up. Sedona is a really powerful place for presence because it's so beautiful, it naturally, visually draws us out. So another really simple way to get present is most times when we're going into our head and we're looping, we're staring. If we can notice that we're staring and we can back up, and so imagine just looking at any point right now and staring at it. And now open up your eyes into a wide-angle view and take in the whole scene. And notice that the thoughts go away. Another great tool we have, and this is East medicine, this is presence. Another great tool we have is for a moment, close your eyes and think of a thought that it's looping. It's, oh, I wish that thought wasn't here. I'm no good, I'm not lovable, all the things that most of us do. This is from the Southeast. This is from the stories that we built up from others about ourselves that aren't even true and aren't even happening now. So think of one of the worst thoughts that you might think in your head over and over again. Supposedly we think 80,000 thoughts a day and 60,000 of them are subconscious. Now don't get caught up on the numbers exactly, but it's an about. So think a thought that is one of those tough thoughts. You have one? Good. Close your eyes and hear that thought looping around in your head. Now move your auditory perception and just listen to the sounds going on outside with your eyes closed. And just nod your head when that thought goes away. That's auditory awareness. Let's put them both together. Open your eyes into a wide-angle gaze, take in the whole scene, and listen to the outside sounds. And now take a deep breath and listen to your breath. And feel the breath. And feel the air on your skin. So we're using the senses of visual and auditory and tactile and kinesthetic, and breathe through your nose and out of your mouth. Gustatory, olfactory. You know, when we breathe through our nose and out of our mouth, we cool the septal region and we quiet the amygdala. We come back into the frontal lobe again. Let's put it all together. Open your eyes and just look at everything like it's a movie. Look for the extreme peripheral and let the middle fill in without actually focusing on one thing. Wide-angle child gaze. Now just listen to the sounds around you outside. Feel the air on your skin. Take a breath. Feel the breath. Listen to the breath. Put your tongue to the roof of your mouth and breathe through your nose and out of your mouth and smell and taste the air. And do all of them at once. And go ahead and try to think. And that's presence. And that's when we enter the middle of the medicine wheel.